Hey guys, Holly Dunaway here, former world champion professional boxer. Today I've got some heavy artillery. These are some of my world title belts, so I wanted to kind of show them off a little bit. I kind of keep them all to myself. All right, so let's start with my very first world title. I was 19 years old, and I flew to Atlanta, Georgia to fight for the WIBA title. So this thing's really heavy. Actually, I've got a scale over here so you can see how heavy this thing is. Hang on. Check this out. Can you imagine having to wear that? Yeah, it's almost 10 pounds. Anyway, so this title, I won. I weighed in at 98 pounds. It's the 102-pound world title. So I was the smallest world champion in professional boxing, male or female, for Smears. This was the same world title that Layla Ali held, but she held it at 168, the WIBA title. And this one, I flew to Atlanta, Georgia, and fought Terry Moss. She was a police officer in Atlanta. And it went all 10 rounds. I won by unanimous decision in her hometown. I won pretty convincingly. And even though I was a teenager, I think I had maybe 14 pro fights, and I hadn't really lost in a year and a half or so. I'd been fighting very regularly. Like my first year, I think I had like 9 pro fights, and so my second, I defended this title, my second world title defense. I weighed in at 99 pounds. Was that the second? Yeah. So weighed in at 99, and I defended it against the very first girl who ever beat me, which was my pro debut, Melissa Schaefer. So she had moved off to Seattle, and little did I know, started training, to be a left-handed fighter. So we start the fight, and she comes out, and she's in a southpaw stance, and I'm like, whoa, hey, I didn't train for this. As a matter of fact, I've never faced one of these, but in theory, I knew what to do. I knew you just throw a lot of right hands, and your jab don't really work, except as like a defense mechanism. So yeah, just right hands, left hooks, and I was so passionate about coming back and beating the person who beat me my first fight that I didn't sit down in between rounds, not one time in 10 rounds. And I didn't sit down in training, which I guess most fighters don't sit down in training. But yeah, I was making a statement. And so, yeah, I defended this one 10 rounds to nothing. I think one judge gave her 9, gave her 1 round, so 9-1. So then I defended this world title again. I went to St. Louis, Missouri. It was my first time fighting there. And I fought Di Yamaguchi. She was a Japanese fighter. She was the first female to fight in the Golden Gloves in New York, in I think the Bronx. She went by D, so they thought it was a guy, and can't discriminate. They had to let her fight. So, yeah. Then I went up a weight division, went up to 105 pounds, and I went over to Budapest, Hungary, and took both of these world titles, the WIBC and the GBU titles, from Christina Belinsky over there. She was an amazing person. She was just a adorable, blonde hair, blue-eyed, tiny girl. They're such a peaceful people there. They invited me to like Thanksgiving dinner, because I guess I wasn't getting to celebrate it. I was over there for Thanksgiving, so just to honor my American customs, because they don't even celebrate that holiday. They invited my family over with her family, and I think they were nice in every way, but there were some ways where it was like too nice, you know, because she was there training, kind of in the background every day. She's like, yeah, you can use my gym. And okay, great. But yeah, she was like a fly on the wall watching me train every day. So that was a little crazy. But and I didn't speak Hungarian. I just learned when I go to a country, I learn enough to ask for like water in the bathroom, and you know, back when I ate meat, I would ask for chicken, and you know, learn how to say chocolate. But besides that, you know, hi, bye, thank you. That's it. That was, you know, all I really learned. So she didn't speak English either, but we tried our best. And yeah, that fight, I won a split decision. I thought I won it pretty convincingly. I think that fight's on YouTube also, against Christina Belinsky. So yeah, she's just a very European style, just, you know, wow, wow, just all straight punches. Very, very stiff, you know, very upright. Not a whole lot of this. But she was a great fighter also, though. She had a great way of timing people and conserving her energy. And then I never defended either of these titles. I went up in weight again to 112 pounds and won the NABF in St. Louis against Sharon Gaines. Oh, this one matches my outfit so perfectly. I think I weighed in maybe like, oh gosh, what was I? I was maybe like 5 pounds underweight for that fight. I had got some kind of norovirus. I don't know if you guys know about the norovirus, but yeah, I was like in the hospital running multiple IVs, so dehydrated before that fight. But I had about a week to put weight back on and get my health back there, and I was not dropping out of that fight. I've only actually pulled out of one fight ever, and that fight that I pulled out of, I was fighting at this, where I was supposed to be fighting at this celebrity boxing black tie event in Oklahoma City. And I had fought there like one time every year, and they invited me, and my opponent was supposed to be like kind of a losing record, which I didn't really get to face many people that, I don't want to use the word bum. So I don't want to do it. But I wasn't allowed to fight people of that caliber anymore because, you know, a lot of states, they demand that whoever I would fight would have at least 10 pro fights and have a winning record. And, you know, you can't really get away with it after you've been fighting for some years. But 5 days before that fight was scheduled, I took an exhibition at this Ritz-Carlton, and it was another black tie event, but I didn't know until I got there that it was for the St. Louis Cigar Convention, which is like this, it's pretty much all attorneys, apparently. I had to find that out the hard way. So you can't see you can't see your fingernails in front of you. The smoke was so thick in this room. And I was the co-main event, so I didn't fight until second to the last. And yeah, I went out there and I fought this girl that was, she was like 7 inches taller than me, you know, so getting inside on somebody like that, it's a little bit of work, you know, you gotta, and you kind of have to get tagged every once in a while to get in. You have to make sacrifices like that. You can't just stay on the outside and time people and box and everything. So you have to, you know, you got to do a lot of feints and react, and you got to like roll in, and you know, you got to take some chances fighting somebody tall like that. So it ended up being like, you know, a workout. But after all of the smoke inhalation, even though they had these 2 big filtration units, that it really didn't help. I was in the hospital by midnight with pneumonia and bronchitis. And I even tried to sue them because, but no attorney in St. Louis would take it. They were like, sorry, we're part of the St. Louis Cigar Convention. It's a conflict of interest, you know? So I had to pull out of the pro fight 5 days later, and I just should have never done it. My thinking was I'm going to get the ring rust off. I hadn't fought in 2 or 3 months, and I was going to, you know, just... Ring rust is like where you have like a little bit of hesitation, or maybe the crowd will get to you, and or just conditioning wise, you know, if you've done it really recently, it's easier for your body to have that muscle memory and go through those motions again without it being a whole lot of work. So yeah, that was my justification for taking an exhibition 5 days before a pro fight. But besides that, you could not get me to back out of a fight. So, yeah, this NABF title, I was not really this weight whenever but I did fight at 112 pounds, you know, after that many times. Just not that day. All right, guys, thanks for letting me show these off. It's been a while since I've seen them. I gotta get a case for these, not hide them. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow on hollydunaway.com or on YouTube. Have a great night. Bye.